Hello and welcome back to yet another edition of me making a point that I think would help you out with your life, and then you responding in the comments with a bunch of personal attacks and insults. That was 80% of the comments last time. What the hell is going on? I think the top comment was that my head looks like an egg. I never even noticed that before, and now I can't not look at it. So for the rest of my life, you've lowered my self-esteem. Thank you very much. The whole point of this channel is building up yours, and in response all I get is just your nose looks like a shallot. Well, what else you got? Huh? I think one of the insults was that I look like if Frankenstein had a Korean skincare routine. You cunts. I hate having an audience where most of your little fucking display pictures are of like Goku looking like he's about to come himself. Anyway, let's talk about embracing your dark side. Which, now that I think about it, and you know, I use his name to draw you guys in, but honestly, the place where I read that was actually from Deepak Chopra, alright? Because, as I've said a million times before, you can take the feisty eastern suburbs MILF out of the eastern suburbs, but you can't take, you know what I'm trying to say? Basically, I'm an eastern suburbs MILF. I have the same mindset as everyone. I just go, oh, so true, Deepak. You make bullshit science terms that kind of make sense if you look at it from a spiritual angle and then just argue that you're a poet. So anyway, point is I was listening to his voice purely much because I just like being around a bunch of Indian dudes that have low baritone voices, which is the reason that I have Ali on the podcast. Yeah, he's a smart guy, but I really want that voice to say to me at one point in my life, I'm terribly sorry to inform you, but you have cancer. I reckon that'd cure it. If it didn't cure it, at least I'd be happy with dying. I like that voice. It's the Barry White of races, I reckon. It's just an educated Indian man's voice that is deep. So, let's talk about it. Embracing your dark side. Now, obviously there's huge advantages to this. The main one is pussy. Obviously. Clearly, right? What do you find sexy in a woman? Do you find a woman sexy as like, hi, I just went to church again and helped out some poor people? Maybe you would, but if you did, you're a freak and you're basically Ned Flanders, but not a cartoon. Most people find bitchy chicks that are always just like, miss, you could do that, wouldn't you too? Shut the split smoke, what are you going to do about it, little bitch? Those chicks are the hotter ones in your life. They're the ones that have the more crazy, outrageous sex. And why? Because there's something dark in them. There's something about sexual attraction and darkness, and I can really see it with guys. I think that the reason that women get turned on by a dude who is kind of a dick is because in caveman times they thought, yeah, that guy can protect me while I'm giving birth. If you just have a guy that's sitting there that's, you know, your classic nice guy, that's the reason that they're not hot. Even though they're a good person, not enough. They're not integrated with the other side of their personality, because the truth of the matter is everybody has light and dark sides of their aspects, right? They have some shade, they have some things that just go, duh! And everybody tries and projects all the duh moments of their life and the duh aspects of their character. No one tries and portrays the things that are kind of shitty or mean-spirited about them. And the reason that they don't is A, because of societal pressure. They've made us this way. We're just a creature of our system. But the other thing is, it's because they're scared of it, essentially. The thing is, if you acknowledge the dark side of your personality, it's kind of the... Keep me for a second, is there any water here? I'm so nervous. You know what? The bad thing about this channel is I'm really not nervous at this point, so it just turns on to like long meandering content. Just so used to being in front of a camera now. You know when you just see Conan O'Brien, it's just like, it's just another day, folks. That's just what happens when you've been doing this for 5 years. But the thing is, with people that do actually embrace the dark side of their character, first of all, it's a huge advantage because there is power with darkness, and there's even more power with being able to harness it. Because that's the thing that women are actually attracted to. Yeah, some women with low self-esteem are attracted to those ones. It's like, it's smack time, bitch. Psh. But most, you know, psychologically healthy women are attracted to men with a dark streak in them that they can see is contained. As Jordan Peterson's always saying, learn that you're a monster and then learn to cage that monster. That's what he's talking about with that, is that notice what's shitty about you, what is bad about you, and then use it to your advantage to make society a better place, because those things do actually help. So for example, I noticed very early on in my life, as a result of reading these books where they're going, notice the dark side of your nature. What is it? Become friends with it, and you will see it's not so bad after all. It's actually quite misunderstood. With that music being like, Simon & Schuster presents. But anyway, look, I noticed early on as a result of that a really dark aspect of my personality is I love arguing. I really like arguing, and I especially froth off. I live to make someone feel really fucking small because I'm a vengeful, petty man. And I really like just absolutely cornering someone in a debate and being like, but I thought that's what you said before. And, oh, I'm sorry, that's all the time we have for it. Thank you so much for joining us. And so they sit there and be like, what? And then they'd leave. You know, I live for those moments, essentially. And I'm willing to go through huge amounts of humiliation just to see someone else feel even more humiliated. I think it's a wog thing. I've got that real attitude of, he's my best friend, he's like brother to me, I give my blood to him, yes. And then they do something that slightly pisses you off and you go, you're dead to me, you understand, no blood for you, I get your blood. That's the... I don't know, it's just a genetic thing. I hate it when people talk about their ethnicity and go, that's me, but so that's the light. But the light aspect of that is, I think this is actually quite a good summation of my personality in general, which is that I like watching people crush it. And I like helping people get there to crush it. I like motivating them. I really like seeing someone inspired and passionate about life. And I root for those people. That's the dichotomy of it, is that if I think someone's shit, I'm just like, no, you're a piece of shit, and here's why. But if I think that someone is legitimately good, I don't have that small poppy syndrome thing that Australians do. If someone is truly good at their craft, I respect that a lot. I like it, and I want more people to be like that. I want people to be their best self, which is why, when you look at it, and if you have a problem with this, then find another channel. No, I'm talking, no. If you have a problem with finding what your light and dark aspects are, I'd ask you this. Who are your two favorite heroes? Usually when you think about that, the two people that you look up to most in your life, it's because you see something in yourself and you see a better version of that. So, my heroes, obviously, the light aspect, Tony Robbins. Now there's going to be a bunch of people being like, he's a cult leader. Maybe. But let's put it this way. If he is, I'm drinking that Kool-Aid with it and I'm dying on the spot. Whatever that man says goes. He is a true god of mine in my mind. God does not look like that trident beard dad from Little Mermaid. It's just him looking down on us all going, hi, son. Most people underestimate what they can do in a year and greatly overestimate what they can do in 10 years. Screwed up that quote. It's the other way around. Look. Shut up! Shut up and listen! Don't listen to Tony Robbins. Listen to a shittier version who has a crap camera. The thing is that I like him because I see that in him. And with both of my heroes, both of them are exceptional communicators. Why? Because I think I'm a better communicator than most people. And I see in Tony Robbins someone who's an exceptionally good communicator. He's really good at persuading people. And what does he do with his persuasion tactics? He doesn't use it to get you to smoke more cigarettes or convince you that climate change doesn't exist. He convinces you that, look, I know you were raped as a kid. That's unfair. And if I could kill him, I would. But I can't. But what I can say is, you can live for today. Look at me. You can live for today. He does it to help people. He uses his God-given talents for a greater societal service. Look, you've got probably a million criticisms of Tony Robbins, and you're probably right on all of them. But at the end of the day, and this is the thing with anyone, this is what people don't understand. Everybody looks at people and they can tear down a million holes in anyone. Anyone on the planet. There's a million faults with any human being. You can focus on that. Or you can focus on the fact that that guy actually did something good. He inspired millions of people to become better versions of themselves. What the fuck have you done? You know, I can't say that I'm anywhere near as good as Tony Robbins. No, there's very few people on this planet that can. How many other people do that? How many other people have fed tens of millions of people in Christmas because I didn't get a turkey at Christmas once and it hurt? And then when you look at the darker aspect of it, who's my other big hero in life? Paul Keating. Now, why do I like Paul Keating? Because no one is better at shutting people down than Paul. He is the best in the world. He is world class at it. Honestly, find me someone who's better at shutting noobs down. Milo Yiannopoulos. No. Milo Yiannopoulos, and this isn't even a gay joke, isn't Paul Keating's arsehole. Ow! He's crap in comparison to Paul Keating. Paul Keating is highbrow. Paul Keating really narrows in on what is precisely the problem, and you can see the people that are listening to him. Not only is he educating them, you can see them shrinking back in their chairs as they know, man, I just took on a beast. Shouldn't have done that. John Howard always thought that he was good at arguing. Pfft, no. Fuck off, you desiccated coconut. Paul Keating reference. Those are my two heroes in life. Now, with Paul Keating, there's a dark aspect of that. Obviously, if you have the God-given ability to make people feel really small, yeah, you could become a bitchy gay guy on Australia's Next Top Model. That's one path. Or you could use it to put the libs in their place. To constantly fight for the workers of a country, i.e. the general population, as opposed to fight for what is in the interest of big business like John Howard chose to. So he used his verbal lashings to help out the people of Australia. That's what I'm talking about. Obviously, he knows that what he is doing is mean, and in certain contexts it's seen as bullying, oh my god, but in other contexts, there is good use for that. If you have a better verbal capacity than most people, you probably should be doing something like public speaking or politics, and you should be using it to criticize people that are damaging society. Because he is able to draw people's attention to his vision, and it's a far better vision than what the Liberals had. So, in the grand scheme of things, net benefit that John Howard went home and went, oh Jeanette, why is he so mean to me? That's what I'm talking about. Embracing your dark side and then utilizing it for a greater good. That's what I want you to think about today. And the way that you're going to do this, homework. Who are your two biggest heroes in life? What do you admire about them? And then when you see that kind of mean smirk come on your face of, I liked that Austin Powers makes fun jokes. That's a dark side of your life, because that's disgusting. You're watching none YouTube channel. You're filth. Everything that comes out of your body is gross. But now that I've gotten that out of my system, some pretty dark vibes in this house. Anyway, look, the thing that I want you to think about is what are the light aspects of them and what are the dark aspects of these people, because you will see that in your heroes you just see a better version of yourself. And then if you're able to embrace the dark side of you and you're able to channel it, not only will everyone find you a more attractive person, not even chicks, heterosexual guys if you're a guy, heterosexual girls if you're a girl, if they can see that you've tamed the monster within, they will admire you because they can't do it. They're too much of a pussy to face that demon. They can't go into that tree in fucking Star Wars and, God, Bill Burr was right about that movie, wasn't he? This is just a cheesy self-help book with a bunch of Muppets. But, you know, they can't go into the tree and face their biggest fear, which is themselves. Deep. Anyway, I'll see you next week.